This is Matrix Lord 212, and I want to talk about Series 7 of Doctor Who today, and I want to talk about how we're going to have Amy and Rory leave Series 7. Now, originally, it was guessed that Amy and Rory were going to die. Something like Adric, where Adric was the only companion that ever died. But now there's been interviews going on where Stephen Moffat says he has a problem with killing off characters. He has never done it, he said, but that doesn't mean he's not going to do it. If that is true, that means that Madame de Pompadour is not dead, and it also means that River Song is not dead either. That's my theory, because basically with the thing of with the Silence of the Library and the Forest of the Dead, while her consciousness is still in the library matrix, she's alive. And of course, just like 4,022 people were saved, so could River Song. There could be a way for them to restore her body very easily, and she could be back in adventures with the Doctor. Now, Madame de Pompadour, we never saw die at all. It was said that when she reached, I think, 37, she died, and she was going on her journey, I guess, towards her final resting place. But we never saw Madame de Pompadour die. And if Madame de Pompadour was a Time Lord, she probably would regenerate anyway, which we don't know if that was ever revealed. My theory is that both of them are very much alive. River Song, and here's my theory with the whole Amy and Rory exit. What I think is going to happen, my theory, is that Amy and Rory are going to find out how River Song will die. They'll probably find out from the Doctor's journal, his journal, and this will cause a dramatic parting of the parties, because I'm sure Amy and Rory would want to save the life of their child, and the Doctor would not want to change the timeline. This would cause a massive conflict, probably with Amy watching and knowing what's going to happen with River. She's probably going to watch the Doctor give River Song his screwdriver, a brand new sonic screwdriver, and leave her, parting with her after the Singing Towers. This would probably lead to a massive conflict with Amy and Rory. How this will be resolved, I don't know. Will Amy and Rory leave the Doctor as enemies? And once again, this is my theory, by the way. I think that's the way they're going to resolve the Amy and Rory exit. Is going to be very closely connected to River Song's death. And what I think is going to happen is, when all is said and done, and after Rory and Amy leave, I believe we're going to see the Doctor return to the library and save her, and download her back into her body, somehow heal her body. Okay? That's what I think is going to happen. So in other words, River Song will live on, and actually have encounters with the Doctor at a normal pace rather than in reverse. Of course, her past self would have encounters backwards also, so it would be like having two different River Songs. But once again, you don't want to, a lot of fans would probably be pissed off if they killed off Amy and Rory, with the exception of Rory. Rory's dying over and over again, so maybe they'll resolve it that way, and maybe Rory will die and Amy won't. I don't know, but I think, and another thing too, to have the Doctor, Amy and Rory as enemies, that would not probably work either. So it would probably be a conflict and then somehow be resolved, but just Amy and Rory getting fed up and just not having anything to do with time travel or the Doctor anymore, because it would be too much for them to bear. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, will we find Madame de Pompadour awake in the spaceship in the 51st century by River Song, like I suggested it, that's a possibility too, because don't forget, to survive, this ship had killed off its own crew and lived off the body parts. Now, who is going to construct a superpowered ship with time windows and energy for one person? Obviously, Madame de Pompadour is a Time Lord as well, which would make a massive impact with the relationship between the Doctor and River Song, because if he was going to marry anybody, and I don't really count that as a marriage when she married the robot, but if he was going to go with anybody, it would be a Time Lord, obviously. And guess what? If Madame de Pompadour was a Time Lord as well, that would be a conflict. Now, the only person he would end up with that wouldn't be a Time Lord would have obviously have been Rose Tyler. And obviously he did, because his human counterpart is probably married to Rose in the alternate universe. So, I do believe that we will see the character of Madame de Pompadour, because Stephen Moffat is correct. He never killed off anyone, meaning he never killed off River Song, and he never killed off Madame de Pompadour, both written by him. And we're going to see probably a massive battle. I think they're going to close out the Silence storyline with the larger TARDIS. We're probably going to have a big baddie, and if it's not Omega, it's probably going to be the Master, because I'm fully expecting to see Johnson return. And I don't think we're going to see him for one episode either. I'm hoping we get to see the Dream Lord in a few episodes. I don't even know about that one. And the mystery of Rory Williams. Please, let's have one of them be a Time Lord. You know, I know it's probably not going to be believable if Amy Pond turns out to be the Ronnie, because you won't believe that she'll turn evil immediately, unless of course we find out that Amy Pond is Romana, and that would make perfect sense, I think, because it would perfectly fit, because a Time Lord could regenerate into the body of a child. River Song regenerated into a child again, and the Master regenerated into the body of a child and was left on a barren wasteland on the sands, a naked child with a fob watch that grew up as Professor Yana. So the Time Lords can regenerate, and they could even regenerate and change their sex, as it was stated in The Doctor's Wife by Neil Gaiman. So I fully expect to see Amy and Rory's exit closely tied with the end and death of River Song. The episode will probably be called The Death of River Song, or something like that. So that's Matrix Lord 212's theory. You know, a lot is going on. You know, there's talk of Rory having a father. There's talk of the Daleks returning, Cybermen returning, Santarans returning, the Yeti returning, there's Igons returning, dinosaurs returning, you know, Martha Jones returning. There's talk of the anniversary. There's talk of David Tennant definitely returning, and of course if he returns, so is Rose Tyler. But I think right now Billie Piper is pregnant, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know for sure. But, you know, I fully expect to see David Tennant return. If he doesn't, I will be very, very surprised, because I think he stated years ago that he's going to be in it. So, I mean, I'm almost sure he'll do it probably for free, I would think. He's such a good fan. But don't quote me on that. I'm sure he'll get paid nicely, but, you know, if that was a factor of him not appearing, I'm sure he would definitely appear. But other than that, that's a big Doctor Who rant for me, with theories and speculation. And please leave the comments below. Thanks.